but let's be realistic about it. Let's not penalize an entire group of people because somebody in the White House has an in with some green energy makers and they're trying to promote a certain agenda. But, you know, this Tim guy, he's weird. He's got some ideas on how we can just go totally green at the US Navy. All you have to do is use algae. That'll power everything. Here's a clip of him talking about it.
The Pentagon is not a bunch of green tree huggers. The Pentagon understands it's a risk to the climate, it's a risk to the environment, and it's a national security issue. They're trying to create the Great Green Fleet where we power our Navy using algae.
And he's a big believer in that. So he's pushing his talking points and he's trying to sell that. I just think that these things are so much more nuanced. And while I'm a big believer in green energy, in fact, if it were a clearer day, you might even be able to see some windmills behind me here in Ireland. But, you know, while that's great and while we should embrace as much energy as possible, including all the clean stuff and all the green stuff, et cetera, we just need to be respectful of all the different issues on the table. This was where, let's face it, our government went really wrong in March 2020. They were refusing to consider the psychological impact on young people, on kids, of being out of school for so long. Incidentally, this guy's state was one of the schools that was closed down for a really long time. He tries to tell you 10 days, but it was more like 5-6 months that they were out of school in Minnesota. So you have just sort of a disadvantage from that standpoint that nobody was thinking about. Didn't think about the kids and the psychological trauma that they would be going through having a shutdown society. Nobody thought about the economic implications. I kept saying, you know, you've got to have more people at the table, but instead you got people with a very vested interest. Fauci, I'm looking at you. And so you had all the scientists with their interests only guarding their territory. And the right hand's not talking to the left hand. So sure, let's figure out how algae can help, but let's also make sure that we've got the wherewithal to be able to meet any kind of challenge militarily here in our country, or there. You know, I'm in Ireland today, but that's just the reality of it. And so when people get so myopic about green energy, they're not thinking through the entire equation. I mean, hey, lithium batteries are a great example. Where are you going to get the lithium batteries? I guess you can go to China. That puts you at a national security risk. You might be able to go down to some mining places in South America, maybe over in Afghanistan. Again, security risks, national security risks all day long. You could probably go out to Nevada. I believe there's a lithium mining spot there, but look at what you're doing to the environment. I mean, you're really hurting the environment. So it's like, pick your poison, guys. Nothing's perfect. Why not just be sensible and have a lot of everything, and then you can hopefully be playing it safe. Speaking of playing it safe, you know, diversification is a big part of my philosophy when it comes to investing. It's a big part of what Rob and I talk about at 76research.com.